quieter, the more verbal he gets, and he's like talking in sentences. He's getting a little sassy sometimes, but overall he's a pretty good listener and pretty like reasonable. So for him,
Well, every age to me is cool. Give Carol juice. Hell no. I
yeah,
know.
right now it's pretty great, especially now he's got a little bit more words.
Well, I can understand their frustration. I can verbalize well. It's just all logical.
Yeah.
She's got my friend. No, we were on vacation.
Yeah, September went great. Yeah.
We went to
Yeah.
So when I went down to Athens.
My son's 7 years.
That's the theory. That's the standard. So, you know, hey, that's really busy. What kind of spirit is it? Where'd they go for their honeymoon?
What's that?
Where'd they go for their honeymoon?
They're going to, they're
You
going
didn't know
to
either.
Portugal and
Or you just
Spain.
tell me who's getting
They
moved?
didn't go this last year. It's going to Disneyland, but they're going to Spain and Portugal this year. For that.
Did they have it all worked out? Oh, yeah. Because if not, you can always pick Gary's brain.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a business forever, 40 years. Still is not.
I sent him out there thinking every day Brad would stick him in, but
We're just excited to see people.
I know, it's just, I ran into a patient today and, he and his wife love the dogs and he was just like, he was asking about the dogs and she's just like, I'm like, Mr. Brown, he's like, so nice to see people and actually see him smiling and I was like, yeah.
Can you all hear okay, Rick and
Rachel.
Rachel? Can you hear us okay?
Yep.
Okay, good.
We're really happy here talking to people and seeing your little faces on the screen.
All right, I think Jan had a reaction to her flu shot today, so she's going down. And
Me. Me, just.
who else have we? Who else?
Me, we're fine. I saw them.
Emily's gonna call in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she was just driving to Sisters and said, I'm gonna try and get there in time and then I'll jump on. So she's,
Okay.
and that's the only, just Jan and her, the only that I heard of.
Right, so there are other ones, Matt.
Word.
Oh, look, we got a group thingy too.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got it.
Awesome. I didn't even watch it. Yes, I could.
You still have time?
The 501.
Should I be incognito or should I get in?
So you can, if you want. I mean, all right, you wanna,
Should I?
do you wanna, we have, you have selected a new president, didn't you, or me chair? Or is it you, Janet? I can't remember.
Yes, Jan and I are co-one.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Her funeral being on my aunt.
Well, would you be scared if I sat late? Would you be scared?
I've been vaccinated double. I mean, I for that.
Yes. I mean, I really can't. I know that.
Thank you.
Boosters mean portable shots, yeah. No one can say I'm not cautious. So we have how many people that might come? 1, 2? We've got 2 not coming.
Well, we know that Jan won't be here, and Emily may be coming in on the,
4 is not a quorum.
yes, it is.
Yes,
Four is a quorum. 4 is a quorum. Let's get going. Okay, Rachel did it. Okay, we're there. Okay, it's 5:02. Let's call this meeting to order. Yeah, and everybody had a chance to review the minutes and make an approval of them. They had a chance to go over them. Make a motion to approve the minutes. You? We got to, oh, I'll second that. Thank you. Okay. Everybody had a chance to go over the agenda? Good. I don't think we have anybody public, do we have any Zoom public people?
Not that talk to us about it.
Okay, so we'll just keep going on, and then we go straight into Doug.
Great, well, thanks, everybody. I'm a little off screen. I see the move over. Over.
You have to go one more. You're still on screen now. Bill? Bill?
I can hear your voice.
Keep going.
Me.
There, now you squeeze.
Okay, hey, everybody. So a couple of things. We have the, I'm gonna start with the, I guess, market orders, the story walk. This is, I'm gonna turn some time over to Sarah to talk about it. It's something that is now we're going to be working on as part of our Holly Grace Jones fund that comes from our foundation, and I'll let her explain what that is.
Sure thing. So we are so excited about our next endowment project, which is installing a story walk in one of our beautiful Westland parks. We're still finalizing the exact location and meeting with them tomorrow to go over some things. But if you're not familiar with the story walk, it's basically having pages of a picture book installed in acrylic sheets to protect them from the elements. And you can read, a page as you're walking along outside. So it's a really wonderful weekend combination of things that our community really enjoys reading and being in nature. And what's so great about them, there's lots of things, certainly the outreach that they provide, you can really reach new members of the community, you can really target different new themes for discussion or cultural celebrations. For instance, we've already been thinking through from the city perspective, knowing we wanted to do things to recognize Pride Month or Juneteenth, find particular stories that combine those themes. We love to focus on books too that are bilingual or can be translated to just be very inclusive. So we're just so excited about all of the opportunities this brings to connect to in-person programming, as well as just do other things that we weren't able to do inside the library. And story walks have really grown in popularity over COVID because they were something that libraries could do during the time that we were closed. And so we've even done some downstairs on the exterior windows. We were doing curbside. We did a few stories that we posted out there and swapped out, and families really appreciated that. So we're so excited about the permanent installation. We're buying really nice frames and posts and we normally last for a long period of time. We're working with parts to figure out the installation on that. And so right now they're in all 50 states across the country, as well as 13 countries, which is pretty cool. And so we're going to put them each one about 40 or so steps apart. That's what's suggested for young kids, having the trail be kind of a half mile to 3/4 of a mile. And you want to display them at eye level so that kids can see. You can have some prompts and questions and things to discuss as they're reading and walking along. So we're anticipating launching this, the hope is May or potentially June. And we had spoken with the Jones family just to make sure that they enjoyed the idea and they were excited about that opportunity. In fact, they gave us some suggestions of Holly's favorite books that she enjoyed when she was younger. So we're hoping to incorporate those as well. So if it helps to have a visual to show all you in-person folks, it's just how it can look. Any questions, comments?
How often will you switch the stories out?
The plan is to do it every month.
Whoa.
Yes. And so we actually buy 2 copies of books and physically splice them up. And then we're buying a large laminator to be able to kind of protect the book from elements. And we have a wonderful, array of volunteers who are very detail oriented that we're thinking will help us actually prep the stuff. We even take it out and then also kind of be like story walk ambassadors to go out maybe on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, just check, make sure everything looks good. I talked to libraries across the country about this to get their feedback and tips. And because I was goes could be a concern, and really a much bigger concern seems to be bird poop and just cleaning them off regularly. So I think it'll get people going out there and just checking on and helping with the maintenance. I love it.
No one in the tree over it.
Yeah, that'll be something to pay attention to. Yeah.
We're going to buy one extra case for we can sub it out. We also are thinking right now with parks that there'll probably be, one of the leading candidates is James Bridge Park, which has the paved trail. So not on the flattest part of the stage, not as many. So I think it's going to be good. Has it been ordered? Did we order it?
Yes.
So it's been ordered.
Wow.
Do you have a question? I do. Is this sponsored by the Holy Grace Mountain
Yes,
Park?
yes.
This is our next project.
Who's at the foundation?
We ran it by Mike and Denise first because it's a capital project, but it's not in the library, right? And so, but they really liked it. I think they really liked it. Well, Sarah did most of the communication with them. Really liked the idea that you would be able to showcase maybe some of her favorite books, but also we'll have one of the signs will have to be a dedication sign that has information as well as talk about.
So it's a really nice way, I think, to raise awareness of the endowment and the foundation and let it be out in the community. How much did it cost? Yeah, it's around $8,000. And that's including the cost of we're buying high quality here too, just as well, and large scale later. That's we use every month.
we're also buying about 3 extras that we're gonna put in this, we were talking about a memory garden. That's, you look behind the children's area and the walkways down, you see some old totems that were ceramic totems that children made. It's kind of overgrown. There's also a water,
Bird bath.
yeah, bird bath, excuse me, thanks. So we're gonna be clearing that out and putting some there. We won't necessarily be a story like in the story walk, poetry could be other things. And I just found out that one of our new members of the foundation, Tim, he came and talked to me for about an hour yesterday. He was really excited about potentially building it himself, and he wanted to build it and wanted to build the benches, he wanted to build the fencing. He got some ideas.
backyard?
Yeah, for backyard.
Oh, awesome.
Because I don't want to take it away from Eagle Scouts, because I want you to take it away from me. So, so I'm hoping we can clear all that out, and he was talking about an ADA kind of boardwalk, so somebody that potentially it was on a wheelchair, somebody would fit in there. We're gonna work, I'll work with him on that, but that looks like that will also be an opportunity where we can create what I've always wanted to create was a memory garden, and I thought that was a really nice space for it, so to see if that works out.
That is fantastic. Wow. Ooh, that is, oh.
So,
We've been on it, look what's happening.
So we'll invite you all to grand opening.
right.
I think Will's Bridge is a great park, the baseball games there.
Can you let Matt in?
And there's good parking. And there's people that live near there, so I mean, the whole thing is just good.
Well, in the path.
For sure, there's a trail for strollers, for wheelchairs.
And it's pretty by the river.
And it's
I mean, it's like win-win-win. Yeah. It's a little far from my house, but that's okay.
So, next thing up, welcome Matt and Emily. Sorry, I'm away from the computer, so I didn't see that your request was on there, but luckily eyes were on that to alert me, so you weren't waiting too long.
That's a way.
Emily's done. So the next thing on the agenda was tails to tails. So a couple of things, I'm gonna let Mel talk about that. Before that, just kind of for the record, we're going to have a party here in the future. I don't know exactly when, but Otto's going to officially retire as the library dog. He's done a marvelous service. He's been our champion for so long. It's not that we won't see him, but he's a little bit beyond the duties that he's made. The expectations are for him that he set for everybody else is a pretty high bar. So we want to make sure that he's comfortable and happy. But we have Booker right ready to go. In fact, this 2 days from now, Mel will be traveling to the Seattle area to finish Booker, so he gets his will be completed as a registered comfort their dog.
Through Pet Partners.
Through Pet Partners, get his insurance, and he will now become our next library dog. So Booker will be taking the place of Otto. Otto's not passed away; he's still here, and he will be around sometimes in a maritime status. He's still the king. He's still the king of the court. He has not been dethroned at all because they have not had a Grand Folk parade or a Starlight parade since COVID. So he is the reigning and
I
defending
think 3 years now, right?
champion of the world dogs in the state of Oregon and the city of Roses. So. What the dogs that go after this, just so everybody knows, that hasn't met, obviously you haven't met dogs, those are newer on here. I started with Mel, got Otto 7 years ago now, almost, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she told me she was gonna bring this puppy and take some weeks off, and I said, no, you can bring him here, he's gonna be the library dog, and when you're training, so we tails to tail, be around it. Thus, the library dog, and still, I believe, the library dog in the United States is an Otto. So he started it out for us, and he's been the king of tails to us. And Booker's already been to Oregon City High School to help with some issues over there as a therapy dog, and he'll be up to high school, wants him back up. So he'll take right over for what Otto did, going to the schools and being president and all those other things. So we're excited about that. We're also bringing the Tails to Tails program back, and I'll let you know And I'll talk about that. And big thanks to Mel for continuing.
Yeah.
She takes the lion's share of Biggie's Lions, actually, so helping us out. So we're excited to help her out so we can get him finished this weekend and have him all ready and ready.
We'll probably retire in Doug's office. That's where his favorite place in the library is to be. So he'll still be here, just not doing the events in the public anymore. So people will still be able to come and say hi to him. And then we are going to start our Tales to Tales. And if you guys don't, Matt and Emily and Rachel is where the volunteers come in with their dogs. It's done through all of the volunteers have been registered and gone through the same testing that I was going through, that Booker and I are going to do this weekend through Pet Partners. And it's a national organization. They've been around for 40 years. The evaluation will let them go to libraries, schools. Some of them go into hospitals, nursing homes. And you have to get re-registered every 2 years. So it's a 45-minute obedience test, and you have to do it every 2 years. So all of our Tales to Tales volunteers are covered and participate in that. And so Sandy, our volunteer coordinator, has reached out to our handlers and teams that have done it in the past to find out who's comfortable coming back, and we'll just kind of filter, and we're only going to do it for the month of May. It's tradition that Tales to Tales goes on hiatus through the summer, and then we usually start it back up in the fall. So what we'll do this year is we're going to just start it in May. We'll do it on Wednesdays and Thursdays, right? And it used to be 4 to 5:30, and they shifted the schools when the kids are out. And so now we're going to be doing it from 3 to 4:30. And the kids pick out the books, Sandy sets up books, and they just come down and they each get like a 15, 20-minute time just to sit down and read and cuddle with the dogs and pet the dogs. And it's really, I think kids are going to be really, really excited. And parents too.
Yeah.
So.
Can you get Ralphie ready in time?
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna be really nice. And then in the fall we'll start back up, and then we usually do it Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And depending on what the school schedule is going to be in the fall, it'll either be 4 to 5:30. We want to make sure the kids are at school and parents can get enough time to get them here. So, any questions?
I have to say, I've met Booker. I love Booker. He's a perfect segue from Otto. I mean, you can pet on that boy and you just love him. He's awesome. I love Booker. I love Otto too. Not that I don't love Otto. I'm not going to stop loving Otto. But having Booker is just unbelievable good. Yeah.
Really good. So I think a lot of families are going to be excited for Tales to Tales to be back in LA. So. The next thing segue is we're starting into adult programs. We're starting to work with our adult services department on some of the programs. One of the things that we're going to be doing next month, we're starting a memoir writing class. It'll be a 3-part class. We'll be announcing it the next day or so. Very limited sign-ups. We're working with a retired writing professor from Oregon State to teach people who teaches about memoir writing. So that will be fun. It's going to be on Zoom. The first 2 will be Fridays at 1:00. It's really limited because it takes a workshop. It's intense when you're doing those kind of things. So we're keeping it small. And then the last one will be in person. Reading out of that. We're also going to be doing 2 other kind of thematic workshops for a larger group that will be for a couple hours. Potentially on creative writing or fiction writing, and also potentially one for teens. So her name is Ellen Santosiero. So we're excited to have her coming on board to help us. She's been great. I've worked with her for many 20 some odd years, and she's doing a great job with us. Also, just really a big shout out to Rick's team on adult services. They have been working really diligently on creating, during this pandemic, some of the great activities that we've been able to do, including Adult Take and Make, continuing on with working with partners like the Westland Alliance for Inclusivity and others to bring sustainability boards, to bring virtual programs to our community. And I'll let Rick maybe highlight some of the new book club book boxes that are now available.
Yeah, with the help of the foundation, we've created 10 book club bundles, and there are 10 copies of each book. So that's 10 different books. We have 6 fiction and 4 nonfiction. Patrons can check those out, and they go out for 6 weeks at a time. So the idea is that kind of book club leaders can check this out and then distribute the books among their members. We include discussion questions in there for them kind of to help the talk about the book go. And we've talked about adding in some what did we call them? Mixology things like suggested drinks or treats to serve with the book. So they should be a big hit. We just put them out, I think, yesterday or the day before. So we'll see how they go. But we're pretty excited about them. A couple of our book clubs have kind of faded away. This was already happening pre-COVID, but I think COVID really drove it home. We just talked to the person who was running our mystery book club, and there were only 3 members left, and they said, none of us really want to do it anymore, and they were trying to keep it going just for the sake of keeping the tradition alive, but they've started to fade away. So our thinking is that these book club kits will really allow patrons to do it on their terms, because sometimes they come to a library book club and realize, oh, we really talk about the book for a whole 90 minutes instead of socializing and having cocktails and things. So hopefully this will work a little better for them. So we'll see.
So we're really, I think, 2 things that are challenging us before COVID continue to challenge us after COVID. That is, how do we bring the community to the library, or how do we bring the library to the community? And so continuing to think along these lines where we have opportunities to share, like an opportunity for groups to come together around objects that we potentially have, like books or other things that happen away from the library, including the mixology piece where we have various cocktails that are associated with each of the books that have been curated and talked about by a mixologist that you can watch. So fun things like that tie community together, that has a library lens on it, but also has the ability for people to come together. As we come out of COVID, we're all a little socially awkward. We don't know exactly how it's all going to work. And I think it's those abilities to build community, and more importantly, we're using the term, and as community services director, brought to us by another person, called belonging, creating a city of belonging, which isn't where we're inviting you to be part of us. It's where we want you to be part of us because you belong here, because everyone belongs. And I think the more we can do those kind of activities, the better off we are. Because as people come out of COVID and come out of a lot of stress in their lives, they're wanting that interaction, I think, and everyone's kind of tiptoeing around how that is. Maybe they don't participate in a religious activity or a community. Maybe they don't go to church. Maybe they don't go to a civic organization like the Rotary or the Lions or others. Some of them have really active neighborhoods, where the neighborhoods do everything together, and some don't. So hopefully the library can be this non-label place where you can acquire things to build your community and feel belonging, and also we can come together with that sense of belonging. Which takes us right into the next segment, which is Juneteenth. This will be the first year that the state has officially commemorated Juneteenth, and the city is commemorating or celebrating Juneteenth as a holiday. Traditionally, it's June 19th. The city will be having the day off from services the next day on Monday. But we're going to be, as a city, putting on a Juneteenth celebration, which is going to be focused a lot on that concept of belonging. And I'm working with a group called Building Bridges here in West Linn, as well as the high school and some other community folks, to try to build a Juneteenth celebration around music, spoken word, happiness, and relief. It's also Juneteenth is also Father's Day, so it's competing with other things. But hopefully we'll have an afternoon activity. We don't know where it's actually going to be. There's a chance it will be here outside of the library, set up in one of the parking lots. It might be one of the parks. The main grandstand at Orlando is already booked, and we can't get that space. It may be the secondary grandstand that's down by by the boat launch and the sand volleyball courts, but we'll have a good place. We've already identified some partners and some musicians that are going to be playing. We're going to get the high school ensemble and some other things. So more to come. But this will be a citywide event to help to celebrate and commemorate. Any questions? Okay, the next is the library strategic goals. Did we stand up sending this out or?
No, Rick just printed it off and gave it to me, so.
I can share my, I'll see if I
We'll
can.
send it all to you. Rick, can you share the screen? Do you have it available? Let me give you screen apps. He has. There it is.
We did, but if you flip it over, it's the continuation of what they've been talking about, sort of. The other side of the tree.
So we all came together to talk about this a couple of months ago, we said we're gonna put it together, remembering that our original one was, 2020 to 2023. Of course, 2 of those years have been COVID years. We had to address some things that the impact of COVID. So what, after you approved what we did, what we decided to do, we tried to create this into a kind of a fluid document that flows right into carryover to what we have. And so this is the design that Sarah Chesney came up with based on the last design that we had done as well. So I really like it, and it incorporates and encapsulates all of the textual parts that we talked about in the last couple of meetings. But if you all like it, I think we can send it out to be approved, need to be, or just round of applause by City Council. So it should be exactly like the verbiage the text that we worked on a couple of, it was last month, the month before. Any questions or thoughts about it? On the one that you see on the screen is a little bit wider on the cloud, behind the clouds. It's just, this one has a gradient. It's just the RGB of the screen, but it's got a little bit more color to it than just that kind of that white. Those of you that are looking. Any thoughts or comments or ideas?
Visually, it looks really good. We're gonna take a while to read everything to really go into it, but I think just looking at it quickly, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry. If any, just put the booker just be over here on the other side.
Katrin has Katrin has actually drawn cartoons of Otto, Booker, and Whiskey. It's pretty cute.
It's just put one in there. But it- Yes.
Yes.
So you should be there because it's in the years to come.
Because this is Otto, this is not Booker.
No, that is.
That is awesome.
That is Otto.
But I'm saying
That
on
is
this side,
awesome.
you should have Booker. Because Booker's top.
I think it looks great.
Thank you. Any comments from those that are with us virtually? All right. Okay, so the next thing up is the discussion of dates, times, and frequency. As we mentioned, I believe in the last meeting, after speaking with Captain Molesky, our city recorder, we are asked to meet, and the meeting requirement is once a year, and obviously I think that's probably a little light. But we don't have to meet every month if we don't want to. And we also can change the date and time, as I mentioned before. So maybe we're not ready to make this decision, or you're all not, or maybe you just want to stick with the time that we have now. We will be offering this opportunity ongoing in the sense of this virtual format hybrid virtual format. So I'm hoping that you're able to see us. I'm hoping you're able to hear us. Okay. And so this will still be available at any time for us to use as whether you can make it actually to the library or not. We obviously we want to see everybody in person when they feel it's right, and but also times there are maybe times when, like, I know Emily, this might be a better form of meeting as well. There's also a legal requirement going forward as by the Oregon statute. So I guess one of the questions before we think about time, dates, and frequency, will this work? Does this seem to work for everybody? Are you able to hear and feel like you can participate virtually in this format? I'm hoping you can, because I don't have a lot of other things to offer, so I'm kind of like, do you like the Chevy Nova? Because you don't really have anything else. It's a beautiful Chevy Nova. Okay, so now I think it's just a discussion. If you want to, this is the traditional time that we've always met, is this third Wednesday of the month. We've changed at that time a little bit, but if you want to continue to do it monthly on the third Wednesday at 5, obviously we can do that. That's not a problem. Just want to kind of confer with all of you to see if that's something what you all want to do. Yes.
What did James said?
Yes.
But that's just being read. What works for you?
I am a public servant. Every day works for me.
This day is every meeting that I have in the world.
Oh, okay.
On Wednesdays. Quarterly, weekly, and round.
What day would work the best for you?
Yeah, technically Monday would be a better day, but I don't think that's a good idea either, just because of holidays and stuff. But Monday would be that's when I'm fresh.
What's your next one?
My next would be Tuesday.
Okay.
So Monday, and then this isn't about me because you have 3 other people that do a better job than I do here. So that work with you. Monday, sometimes I have councils on Mondays, and I also have school, since I'm a community service, I have school board meetings on Mondays too.
Yeah.
And they won't change it for me, and I don't know why. So those are sometimes I wouldn't be available, but that it shouldn't stop it, that there are other years that
Oh, what
are.
about Tuesdays?
Tuesdays are.
What does everybody else think? I mean, if everybody else is good with Wednesday, then we'll keep the Wednesday.
I'm really flexible all over.
I have some conflicts, but they're temporary on Tuesdays, and so I think it's more viable.
Our friends on their computers and other
Emily,
places.
Rachel, how are you guys? Tuesday good.
Yeah, Wednesday is not quite as good as Tuesday. Tuesday would be better.
Tuesday's better. Oh, Matt likes it. Good.
Tuesday or Wednesday is fine with me.
Tuesday's okay with you? Joe?
Yeah.
All right.
That's almost everybody.
Emily, are you hearing us? Can you talk to us from your luxurious compound in somewhere in?
Not able to United.
But she's saying,
Says I'm something.
I think Sarah figured out unmute. Can you flip up your thumbs up? Can you give us a thumbs up, Emily?
Restricted by the leader of the Zoom.
What? Okay, hold on a second.
Ask-
Where is she?
Emily,
There she is.
There you go, there you go. There. Ask to unmute.
I can report you, remove you, put you in the waiting room, pin you, or make you a host, or rename you. A lot of power here.
I'm not able to unmute. It says I'm restricted.
Okay, so if you can hear us, Emily, this Tuesday, can you type in there if Tuesday would work for you? Theater is restricted.
Tuesday is great.
Or Tuesday, that's great.
What happens if you click on that, ask to unmute? Oh, it doesn't do anything.
Thank you, Emily. So it's just
Tuesday
Jan,
is great.
Jan and,
There, let's see if that works. Try now. Tuesday's great. Okay.
we just don't know about Jan, so it looks like pretty much everybody's good. So we can do Tuesday tentative, Jan can do it? Does that work for everybody?
Is everybody okay with the third Tuesday of the month, or do you want to work on a different one of the weeks?
The starting week.
Correct. We know what day that is.
I can tell you Tuesday.
That's the 19th. That's the 19th.
3. Yeah. Oh.
We are not punishing you, Emily. We don't, it's the computer.
Modern technology.
My granddaughter's first birthday holiday.
Oh. Can you do it?
On my granddaughter's first birthday, there might be something going on, but I can probably work out something. Yeah, it is her first birthday holiday. But
Oh, I didn't know she was.
Yeah,
She was in.
we don't, and it's her first birthday, she doesn't know care, you know,
Probably just go April, May, and then the other one is.
why? Well, I won't miss her birthday, but it's just, you know, question. Getting that, so
Do you want to jump to May then? If
May would be perfect.
Okay. How about, do you want to do every other month unless we, at the next month, we can decide if we need to carry over, we could do it in between. So that would
I mean,
be,
usually it's the summer holiday after
yeah,
So it'd
May.
be May 17th?
Yes.
yeah.
No problem.
Would May 17th work on?
You guys. Who did not.
Not Mayor 17th. May 17th.
He could run it and leave. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, she's so lovely. She's the happiest baby I've ever had in my life. I don't know where she came from.
Does May 17th work for everybody that's away from their computer link? Okay. All right, so let's plan on May 17th, and that would take us to, we can decide at that point if we continually need to meet during the summer, because that will take us, the next month would be July, if we meet every month. So we can go May and then September, but when there may be a chance we need to meet, and so we could decide now on May 17th. Does that sound right?
May 17th, it's in my calendar. I even have it on. Yes, I got it saved for forever.
Okay. I can also give the foundation update since I'm only here. And that is to say, the foundation has been very gracious in approving unanimously the story walk acquisition of the physical stands and platforms for that. We even think we have somebody on our board who is going to Nick Bertram, whose family owns, or his wife's family owns a big construction company. It's not Hoffman, but it's one of the other big ones that might even do installation for you. They've been very generous to us. What, do you know what the name of that construction?
Wow.
Walsh Construction. Yeah. And so that would be nice. And they also are helping us continue to help us with the bookstore. That's one thing I can tell you is we're building, we have a interior designer that's on our board named Tansy, and she is working with another interior designer to build an archway, a book archway for the entrance to the bookstore, to the book nook. So that's going to be exciting. That's going to be going up. They've been very helpful in helping us raise funds. We're going to tentatively be doing a May 5th fundraiser at the Westland Ale House for the summer reading program. That's real tentative, and I'll let you all know that when it comes up. encourage you to attend if you can. It should be fun. It's also Cinco de Mayo and my wife's birthday, so you can celebrate all those things. But I think that's what we have from the foundation. Any board comments?
Sorry, I'm still on my calendar, it's really hard. Anybody have a board comment? Okay, if you guys want to say anything? You can say anything? Nothing? Okay,
Okay,
would someone? That's it done. Would someone make a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
Someone second. Okay,
Bye.
bye everybody, this was great, yay! Bye guys.
wait. Rachel, we did get, Rachel's gonna be our LDAC rep. I'm gonna fill out the paperwork
She
for
did
that.
it, she did it, yay, Rachel, yeah.
Okay.
Bye, guys. I have a question for Rick.
Rick, don't go.
Don't go away. I have a question for you. I don't know if everybody needs to hear that. Rick, were you ever on Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives? Oh my God, I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh,